Hello, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne in Australia. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card. And no, the sheep dies don't come with two different sheep, so I'm going to show you how we're going to get the mirror image. The nice thing about this card is you can personalize it for whatever age you want. For this one, it was for an 80th birthday, but if you want to give somebody who's 42, stick your age on there. And of course, you can change up the colors for whatever suits you. Let me show you the products that we're going to use today. The first one is obviously the Counting Sheep stamp set. This is one of your free celebration items. The other stamp set that I'm using is Positive Thoughts. I was using the sentiment from here. There's some really lovely sentiments in this stamp set. We then also have a number of dies. The sheep dies, which again is a celebration item. $90 will get you the stamp set, another $90 will get you the dies. And I'm using the Playful Alphabet dies for the numbers. Punches, I've got the Heart Punch Pack, so that's got the scalloped one at the back and just the straight round one. And the last punch is the Treasure Tags Picker Punch. I'm also using the Timber 3D embossing folder, which is one of the new embossing folders in the August to December mini catalogue. So let's shift all this out the way for the moment and we can get started. Here are the measurements that we're going to need for today. The first thing that I'm going to do is colour my rhinestones. The reason that I'm doing it first is because I want to give the blends a bit of time to dry on the rhinestones. So with my dark Flirty Flamingo blend, I'm just going to colour over the rhinestone. I do like to put a few layers of colour on, but I like to give them a bit of time just to dry in between the layers. This is the great thing about the blends. If you're looking for a specific colour and we don't have the rhinestones, take your basic rhinestones and colour them to whatever colour you need. So we'll add some more colour to that in a minute. To stamp the sheep, you're going to need your Stamparatus and you're going to need the Craft Silicone Mat. I'm taking a scrap piece of paper and I'm putting it right in the corner. It doesn't actually matter where the paper is for the moment. I just need to know where I'm going to put it when I stamp again. I'm taking my sheep die and I'm just positioning it where I know it's going to stamp okay on the page. We don't want to put the sheep over there that it's going to miss my paper altogether. And with my Memento ink, I'm going to ink up my sheep. And stamp onto the mat. I don't know whether it's really necessary, but I like to do 2 layers of ink just so that I'm sure that we've got a good coating. It's not going to dry very quickly on the silicone, so you don't need to rush it. I'm then taking my piece of paper, putting it down, and I don't need to worry about inking up again because this is going to be the underside. But I'm giving a good press so that the ink on the mat is going to transfer onto the back of my paper. So now I have a sheep on the front and the back, and they're directly behind each other. And we're then going to shift that out the way. I'm done with my stamp apparatus. I'm going to stamp another sheep onto the corner of the insert for the card, and of course I would do one on the envelope as well. You're also going to need a second sheep that you're going to cut out. That's all our stamping done. Let me quickly just put another layer of ink onto my rhinestones so that I'm making them a little bit darker. We may put one more layer on there. And I'm taking my sheep dye. Let me pull in my mini cut and emboss machine so that you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put my dye around the sheep so it's facing the right way. This is how I would die cut. As usual, just making sure that it's sitting nicely around my sheep. Run it through. And I've got it facing front and back. And here's my second one, which I've already cut out earlier. Right, so that's going to be our sheep that are going to face each other. I've got a piece of the Beauty of the Earth DSP. This is the one that's got that woody look, and I've run it through that timber embossing folder. So you can see it is quite subtle, but it gives that extra wood texture or bark texture to the paper. Got my card base. Now that we've done that, it's just a matter of assembling, and it's all pretty easy going from here. Stick the DSP on. Now we'll add some colour to the sheep. I've got the dark and light smoky slate blends. With the dark, I'm colouring in the hooves. With the light, I'm colouring in their faces. No fancy colouring for me. Colouring done, and while we're busy with the blends, let's just put one more layer onto our rhinestones. That should be pretty in pink. This can go onto the inside of the card. Now, the blends do bleed through the paper, but you're not going to see it, and they being stuck flat, so you're not going to see the back of that either. Just for yourselves, be careful. If you're using it directly onto something, it will bleed through, so you need to make sure that that back is going to be hidden. This is some foil from the Silver Foil Specialty Pack. This is one of the darker ones. You do get 3 different shades of silver in the pack, and it's the matte one, so if you run it through your cut and emboss machine, it doesn't mark. I'm punching that out of my scalloped heart. What I would ordinarily do is go and cut my numbers out of that. I'm not going to do it now because I don't know who I want this card for. So once I've decided who it's for, I'll go and I'll cut the numbers out so that I've got the right age on. If you know who you're going to give it to, then cut your age out of your heart, because that's going to be hidden away and nobody's going to see it. And I'm cutting the non-scalloped heart out of a piece of floaty flamingo. Now for the sentiment, with my treasure tags picker punch, I'm going to punch the ends of the strip. This time I'm using the first tag. That one I used the second one, so you can use whichever one you like. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment before I punch the white. Floaty Flamingo ink. And friends like you mean more each year. Don't you think that that's a great sentiment to use when you're putting the age on the card? So whether it's a 50th or a 40th, it'll work for any age. And we're just going to punch that out. Now I can layer my sentiment on top of the mat. And my heart can layer on top of the silver heart. First thing I'm going to do is stick my sentiment down. That's giving me an idea of where I'm going to place my sheep. Stuck that one a bit lower, but that'll be fine. What I found easier is to position your sheep where you think they're going to go, and then stick the heart, and then go and put the sheep in afterwards. If I've stuck the sheep first, then I wasn't getting the heart placed exactly where I wanted it. So see where you want it to go, stick the heart, and then go back and put the sheep in. My heart is going flat. Maybe lift that up a little bit. Make sure that you know which sheep is facing which way. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the sheep. And of course, we need to put on our bling as the final step. And with me colouring my rhinestones, everything matches. So there's our card. If you love the sheep, make sure that you put in your order so that you can get them as your free celebration items. These are only available while stocks last, so you want to get them in as soon as you can. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll be informed every time I put up a new video. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.